Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Transparent Tuesday. Oh my gosh, my light's going out. Anyways, I need to plug it in. But, anyways. So, I know it's a little later than I usually go live. And I apologize for that, but today was just a hectic day. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about Do Not Worry About Tomorrow. That is coming out of Matthew 6:34. The word says, "So do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today." Again, that's Matthew 6:34. I wanted to talk about not worrying about tomorrow. God just dealt with me on this on the 25th. As many of you may know, I had a book release and signing planned for April 25th. But due to COVID-19, that was not able to happen. When I did my live, I believe it was last Tuesday, I did Walking in Obedience. Since I've been walking in obedience, I've received a lot of backlash. And when it came down to my book release and signing and I was not able to have it, I was worried about it, stressing about it. I couldn't sleep. I was praying, and God, I feel like my enemies are winning because I'm not able to have my book release and my signing. But God is so good and He is so faithful that even though I was not able to have the book release and signing, my book was still published, and those that were in the high desert still had their books on April 25th. I still went live to launch my book on April 25th. And those that are not in the high desert, some of them received their books over the weekend, some of them received them today, and still some of them are receiving them. But the point in me talking about this discussion and letting you guys know how God dealt with me is that I was so worried about being inside of a building. And, I had this whole evening planned, that guest speaker, and I was so worried. God, I had this all planned. I feel like my enemies are winning because the big thing that I had planned, it's not going to happen. It didn't happen the way that I wanted it to happen, but it happened the way that God wanted it to happen. Even though we weren't inside of a building, the books were still delivered. The books were still given to those that needed to have them that day. The book was still released and published right on time, the way that it was supposed to. So I was so worried about April 25th, but God already saw that day, and He already had everything prepared and everything in place because the goal was still accomplished. The goal was to have the book out. The goal was for the people to have the book because of the message. Again, I am just a vessel, and I'm just sharing. I'm just being transparent. So God showed me your plans did not work. Your will was not done, but my will was done. As I said, previously, our thoughts are not His thoughts and our ways are not His ways. So even though I had a plan, God's plan and His will still prevailed. So I was worried about something, about a gathering, and it wasn't even about a gathering. The whole point was to have God's message to get across to the people. And that's exactly what it did. I have gotten so much awesome feedback about the book, about the message, about the way that it is touching people. And I'm being so transparent. Some people are saying they want to write their own book. Some people are saying that, they read the book, they cried, they laughed. They went through every single emotion. And that was the whole point, is to be transparent and to touch someone else, to let someone else know they're not alone. I've been through things. I don't look like it. I'm grateful and I'm so blessed that I don't look like what I've been through. But I'm a walking testimony that no matter what your past is, that God can still use you. So I was worried about the wrong thing. And that's why God tells us not to worry about tomorrow, because there's enough worries for today. If God's going to take care of everything in this world, takes care of everybody, that verse goes into talking about how He feeds the birds and the lilies and things like that. I I should not have been so stressed and so worried to think that he wasn't going to give me this project and for it to be seen all the way through. No, the book release and signing didn't happen, but the message was still across. The people still got the message. The people still got the book. The transparency was still there. So I was worried about the wrong thing. I was worried about my own agenda. And instead, I shouldn't have been worried at all. Excuse me. It wasn't supposed to be a worry. God already had it handled. He saw April 25th before I did. I don't know what it was about that date, but I was so gun-ho when I picked it that I had to have the book release on that day. So God already knew that COVID was going to happen. God already knew that the book release was not going to happen. But he also knew that due to my due diligence and my excellence that I put into every project that I work on, and that I was going to see this all the way through because it was an assignment specifically given to me by him, that the book was going to be out by April 25th. That because I have the most awesomest team surrounding me. My assistant is the bomb. She delivered those books. She was out, at night at the post office making sure that those books went out. So I was worried for no reason. God already had it worked out. He already had everything in place the way that it was supposed to be. So we don't need to worry, especially when we're walking in obedience. No matter what the enemy throws at us and he tries to trip us up, we're always going to have the glory. It looks ugly, but that's where the faith comes in. We're supposed to not worry about what we see, but to walk in faith, to walk in obedience, to trust God. He says that those who trust in him will not be ashamed. I was worried about being ashamed over a book release, not knowing the book was going to be in everyone's hands, that it needed to be on April 25th. And that was the most important part. It wasn't important about being inside of a building or at the time having fellowship. Right now that this COVID-19 is going on and we're all, some people like to say punishment, lockdown, whatever words you want to use, God is dealing with us individually. My book is a message. I'm a vessel. And the book got to the people that it needed to be. So while we're here and we have this alone time and we're in our homes and we're able to sit and we're able to focus, and those that got the book were actually able to sit and read it without distraction, because I'm told it's a page turner. I was told this morning by someone that she read the book in 2.5 hours. That's how serious this message is. And I didn't see it and I didn't notice it and it didn't hit me until today. This book needed to be released in this time when God removed all the distractions and he's already dealing with people's hearts. He's already dealing with people's minds. He's already dealing with people and letting them know and ministering to them. And when you're dealing with something with God and confirmation comes, a book comes, a word comes, somebody comes and tells you something that he's already dealing with you on, that was the whole point. The book got delivered when it was supposed to, because hearts are already open. Souls, minds, spirits are receiving. They're in receiving mode right now. We're all in receiving mode right now. We're all trying to understand what it is that God is trying to tell us, what he wants us to work on, what we need to do, what our assignments are. Because at the end of the day, this is a body. We all each have a part and we have a role that we play in it. And we go through things, we have to deal with certain situations. And this is this time that he had to sit everybody down because we were too distracted. Life was taking control. We didn't even realize how the enemy had us running and going and going and going and can't even have a minute to yourself. For him to sit us down, to get us alone and to fellowship with us, to be able to have that one-on-one with God, for us to be able to get back into our word. And what do you know? Here comes my book. So what is everyone able to do that actually has it? All the distractions are gone. I'm sorry. Everyone's already being ministered to. So the book, the message is being received the way that it's supposed to without distraction. Don't worry about tomorrow. God already has the answers for tomorrow. I apologize again. It's already taken care of. So I'm going to let you guys go. You guys stay safe. You have a wonderful evening. And if you don't already have the book, please contact me to get one. Go on Barnes & Noble for the actual paperback. You can get the ebook, Walmart, Amazon. It's a message in that book. And again, I'm just the vessel. And now is the time to read. I'm sorry, my husband keeps calling. Now is the time to read it so you guys can actually receive the message the way that you're supposed to, and God can continue to minister to you. You guys have a wonderful evening and stay blessed. Bye.